Disclaimer. This week's episode contains some description of torture and impalement. Listener discretion is advised. This week, on A Dark Cup of Histortea, we are delving into the life of one of the most famous historical figures of all time. Whether through his exploits in life, or the rumours of his afterlife, nearly everybody in some way has heard of Vlad the Impaler, aka Dracula.
We've got a very special episode for you this week. As well as being part of our Dark Month, we're joined on our foray into the fanged fiends by the fellow Denzians of Darkness. Mouthful. Liam Mandy and Tobias Nichols of the ManNic Podcast.
Hey! We're a mouthful.
Generic welcome.
It's what it says. It's what it says. Hey!
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. This is my first time on your podcast. He's already been here.
It's true.
He's been here. He
was
caused
here.
havoc and went away, but he's back.
Episode plug, The Haunting Hee-Haws.
The original story of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I say because the title doesn't give that away. The Haunting Heels does not sound like it's about Pinocchio.
But I'm here. I'm here for Dracula.
Yep, but not only are they here for us, we are going to be on theirs because we are a collaboration. Woo!
Unless this one goes really badly.
Yes. And Liam's in the mood already in mine.
I've already had to withhold 3 jokes for myself, and we've not started yet.
This is good.
Because I've decided that Vlad the Impaler and Dracula's 2 long words, and we should nickname him Big Daddy D. Also, you said descriptions of torture and impalement, and I was like, a fun one for the kids.
Cool.
We're back.
So they are here to cause mayhem and manic.
Good.
The 2 ends. Very important.
Yay, they did our thing.
Didn't like that.
So, what do you say? We grab our garlic and our crucifixes, keep your eyes on the nearest mirror, and all together now,
Let's get dark!
Let's get dark.
Oh my God's sake.
Okay, so first things first, just a little bit of background for you. The ruling house of Wallachia from about 1310 was the House of Bazarab, named for its founder, Bazarab. It had 2 cadet branches, which are like the offshoots, and they were the House of Deneshti, named for Dan the First of Wallachia. Yeah, Dan. King Dan.
I like that.
And the Draculeshti, named for Vlad the Second Dracul. Dracul.
He was
Nice.
the Draculist of them all.
Sarah's begins.
Right, that's 3. I'm going to count how many puns you get into this episode.
Well, as I know from not reading this beforehand, there's a lot of things I can't pronounce in this. So expect a lot of it to cover for messiness.
So that's 3. Exciting.
As with a lot of historical figures pre-early modern period, the dates are a little bit fuzzy, and with this fellow in particular, there is a lot of hard work involved in sifting man from myth, so here's what we know for mostly sure.
Vlad III was born in 1431 in
Sigishwara.
in Transylvania. You will hear that when I don't know a word, Carrie just
There was-
fills in.
Do you
I
know what?
understand.
The thing is, I know how often that must happen because you did not pause at all. You basically got, this is the word, and you were like, yep.
Right, so what we know, that is what we now know as Romania, and it was split into the principalities of Transylvania,
Moldavia. Not to
and
be confused with Moldova.
Very different
Moldavia.
places.
Actually,
Okay.
no.
and
Wallachia.
Wallachia.
Wallachia, woman. Come on.
His father, Vlad II, was native of Wallachia and was forced to rule Transylvania as his cousin, Alexander of Dynasty, and he had control of Wallachia.
So they were born in Wallachia, but they had to rule Transylvania because Alexander was ruling Wallachia instead.
Fair one.
Awesome. Now this is in red. This is for me.
That's
to
you
do.
now. Go for it, Liam. Go, go, go. I have
It's my
faith.
moment to shine. Vlad II was a warrior noble and served the Holy Roman Emperor, Sigismund. Yes, Karen?
Yeah, it's say what you see, Liam.
That is not going to be how this, because you've already mispronounced it. That's how it goes. Wallachia. So, Sigismund, who governed... Who is ringing during the podcast?
It's a nerdy smurf.
How rude!
That's Kevin.
Kevin!
The nerdy smurf.
He's the nerdiest of all the Smurfs. Is there a
That's
nerdy
alright,
Smurf?
because on Snapchat, I'm king of smurfs.
Is there a nerdy Smurf? You just
Yes,
plugged
but you
your
are Smurfs
Snapchat.
for very different reasons.
I don't want to know. Is he small and blue?
Oh, you have genuinely
Please,
plugged
Liam,
your
please,
Snapchat.
Please
Awesome.
continue.
So yeah, that's King of Smurfs on Snapchat for your wholesome daily dose of lovable antics. Oh, a little word to the wise. That's not what's on there.
This is paid age one of 18.
It's not quite OnlyFans. We'll be fine.
Yeah, you have to pay for that.
Right, cool. So Sigismund, who governed the Hungary from Hungary, Sigismund had a group of such. I don't care about punctuation. ADHD does not allow for punctuation.
That's why you never put any. You just put kisses in your messages.
I do.
Mid-sentence.
Yeah. All right.
Back to the script. Come on, people.
Cool. So
Professional.
Sigismund had a group of such nobles who aided him in the ongoing conflict. Defending? Do you not mean defending?
One mistake. I had to write things
This
in
is my
Romanian.
first bit, Carrie. I'm the one who looks like a dick.
Not because of Carrie, though, to be
No,
fair.
that's true. That's because I'm dressed stupidly. I came dressed as Dracula because I thought that's what we were doing. But now, it's not just the people on the bus who gave me a weird look. Right, so, the ongoing conflict defending Christian Europe against the Ottoman Empire.
I love
I how to
Ottomans.
pronounce that one. Great footstools. This group was known as the Order of the Dragon.
Order of the Dragon. Ah, it's me. Look. Vlad II was therefore known as Vlad Dracul, or Vlad the Dragon. His sons, according to the can't say that already. Linguistic. I had to speak, okay? Customers were therefore known as Dracula, son of the dragon. Sometimes you'll see Dracula translated as son of the devil, but this is an interpretation. It means dragon in the context of Little Vlad.
Little Vlad.
Big Vlad, little
Oh,
Vlad.
little tiny Vlad. That's what I call it.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow, this is starting early.
Ow.
And that's his Vlad, by the way, Carrie.
Vlad the Third.
Vlad III was the second of 4 sons born to Vlad II. 3 to his wife Eupraxia, also
Love it.
known as Nyazhna of the neighbouring Moldavia, and the 4th to her mistress Kaltuna. His brothers
I love
were Marcia of Wallachia, Radu III the Fair, half-brother Vlad IV the Monk, and they had a sister, Alexandra of Wallachia.
Wallachia.
We don't really talk about Alexandra. She just kind of slips.
Can I just
into-
confirm?
Yes,
Because you pronounce Wallachia several different ways now. Is it a V or is it a W?
it's a V. Wallachia.
You just said Wallachia.
My bad.
Yeah, just say it.
But you know, I went Wallachia.
I'm catering to our American cousins who
I'm
like
just
to
saying,
pronounce
okay.
it as Wallachia.
People need to understand that I am not going to get any of this right. But you're the seasoned professionals.
Professionals is a strong.
You're the ones with your pronunciation guys and whatnot.
Yeah,
we
that
just
you,
talk about
that you did not
films.
open.
No, I didn't.
This is the first time I've ever done a pronunciation guide. We normally just wing it.
No, you mean you do it for Emily.
Live.
I just wing it.
Not Ving it.
Come on.
Anyway.
I know about Radu. I love that
Radu,
sauce.
yeah, Radu the Third or Radu the Fair is fairly important, so you need to keep a mental note of that name as well.
I won't.
Okay?
No.
Thank you. In 1436,
Too far.
Alexander died and Vlad II saw his chance, so with the support of Sigismund and the Hungarian army, he took control of his birthplace and became the voivode, or warrior lord, of Wallachia.
Wallachia.
He moved his family to the castle at Taugoviste, and things looked peachy for a while.
But not for long.
Oh.
Exclamation mark.
I feel like you shouldn't high five it not for long. Like
Is that
bad
an
things
in-
are
is
about
that
to
an
happen.
in-joke?
It's a horrible
horrible
history
history
reference.
jokes. Emperor Sigismund died in 1437 and left Hungary weakened, which forced Vlad II to look to a former enemy to support his position. So, in 1438, Vlad II Dracul joined his former enemy, the Ottoman...
His
That's
former
a
Emily.
Standard word.
I feel alright about my mistake.
So, in 1438, Vlad II Dracul joined his former enemy, the Ottoman Empire's Sultan Murad II, in invading Transylvania, his one-time home. But his loyalties were still Christian, so this can't have been easy for him.
It brought him a measure of peace. However, and things stayed relatively, can't say that, calm, and didn't send me a guide for that one, did you? Calm
Sorry,
until
I thought you could speak English.
until 1441, when Johannes,
Yep.
Hyundai, as Tobias wants to pronounce it,
I love their cars.
Hunyadi.
Hunyadi.
which sounds like you've misspelt Hyundai.
I know, right?
The styled White Knight of Christendom.
Close.
Awesome. Approached
Emily's just agreed there. She's like, yeah, that's definitely right.
And the thing is, they agreed for different things. Approached Vlad II and asked him to join a crusade against the Ottoman Empire. Vlad, he said no.
What a bastard.
But that didn't stop Hunyadi.
Great cars. Hunyadi had a measure of success and was able to rout a section of the Ottoman army who were occupied in Transylvania. As a result, Sultan Murad II ordered Vlad to attend on him at court in Adrianople.
Adrianople?
Yeah, Adrianople.
Cool. Place in Turkey.
1 point to Liam!
Where he was captured. In his absence, Hunyadi was free to invade Wallachia and seize power there.
Yeah, so Hunyadi... So, Vlad is out of Wallachia, Hunyadi's gone into Wallachia and ousted Vlad.
Cool. Awesome.
That's where we're at the moment.
Good. Cool.
So, Sultan Murad II released Vlad II before the year was out.
Nice.
However, he demanded 2 of his sons as royal hostages in exchange.
Oh,
Bit
what?
harsh. Come on.
It was to make sure that Vlad behaved himself.
Naughty boy.
He couldn't give him a
much, innit?
Saya, as he was the oldest and his heir, so he gave his spare. He gave young Vlad and Radu...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Spare son.
I'm sorry. If you want one of these kids and you're like, well, I'm the spare.
That's what you
I'll
need.
never
an heir
be
and a-
ruler.
That's what you need, an heir and a spare.
Yeah.
That's why.
That is
That's
literally
literally what they say.
objectifying children.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they say. It's
Yeah, the
literally
heir
what
I'm
and
sorry.
they say.
So they say it and it makes it okay.
I mean, William's the heir, Harry's a spare.
You got an heir and a spare.
Yeah.
Technically, they're female, neither of them are heirs.
An heiress
Oh,
and
no.
a sparess.
No,
No,
the queen-
technically nowadays
The Queen
they're
has
allowed.
changed
Not
the
in my
law.
family.
You the king and you waiting on a boy.
Yeah, we're not having any more kids though. So if I get a dog, he takes over. Technically, my male cats get to fight it out.
Bob would say.
Kylo was here first, but Bob is technically older.
Yeah.
You do,
Kylo's a spare.
you don't want Bob ruling. That cat has some issues.
No king Bob. Come
So
on.
anyway,
It's first rule.
young Vlad and Radu went back to the Ottoman court as their hostages. In return, the Ottomans supported Vlad II in returning to power in Wallachia in 1443, leaving his
Wallachia.
sons behind.
So, his first rule, we had young Vlad, who had previously been well educated, taught by Romanian scholars,
Nice.
but also Greek teachers from Constantinople. He learned geography, mathematics, science, classical arts, and spoke fluent
Slavic.
Fluent.
Slavic.
Fluent,
Spoke Slavic.
fluent, and Flurman and Flatin.
I love Loman. Flurman.
He spoke fluent Slavic, German, and Latin, as well as being trained as a military tactician.
On his CV,
Whilst-
he's overqualified now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm afraid
You can't
this
get it.
position's just
No.
below you.
Whilst in Constantinople, he and his brother Radu received an Arabic education, learnt fluent Turkish, and trained as Turkish warriors. The hope was that when the princes grew and took their places as rulers of Transylvania and Wallachia, they would still be loyal to the Ottoman Empire.
Every time someone says Wallachia, you echo it.
I know.
I really enjoy it. But guys, Vlad had a temper.
Oh, dramatic turn.
And could often be troublesome and quarrelled it a lot. That's true.
Trolled it a lot.
He was not happy in his captivity.
Who is,
Surprise,
though? Who is?
surprise! His brother Radu
Obviously.
enjoyed his time in Constantinople. I'm sure you've misspelled Constantinople.
Oh, you're the one to
That's
say
right.
that,
And
aren't you?
became intimate friends with Mehmed.
Intimate.
Mehmed?
Mm.
Mehed.
Oh, no, wait. I've just read on.
Ah,
Just read on.
Mehed, son of Murad II, and later Sultan Mehed. Possibly a bit too into Mehed. Meanwhile, Hunyadi led a force against the Ottomans against Vlad II. No, again, and Vlad II joined him this time, sending a force out in support of King
Vladislav.
That's clearly a dinosaur.
of Poland. Oh
Vladislav,
no,
not
here comes the
Vladislav.
Vladislav! And
In the next Jurassic World film, I'm looking
and
forward to
it's, here comes the Vladislav, and it's Hungary. As part of the crusade of Varna, is that what that says?
Yeah.
Varna in
Just off
1444.
from Narnia. It's good.
They do sound like they could be like on the coastal line.
That's
next
got a
to each
talking
other.
tiger in that one.
Train tickets from one to the other are a nightmare.
Voiced by Liam.
He firmly believed by this point that his 2 sons had been killed. He never found out that they were alive and relatively well.
Relatively.
They're relatively well.
Activity,
They
there
lost
you
an
go.
arm.
They've got no arms, but they are technically alive.
Yeah, but they're spare.
No, they were
I'm sorry.
very well educated whilst in captivity.
I'm sorry, but if this goes the same way as Candlewick, I'm not going to be happy.
Eventually, the Christian forces were defeated and Vlad II acknowledged the... Oh, hello.
Suzerainty.
Exactly, that's the main rule,
So we've
that
got
is.
sovereignty of a king, but suzerainty of a sultan.
Nice. of the Sultan and promised an annual tribute. Hunyadi wasn't happy at this turn of coat, and he invaded Wallachia in November 1447, causing Vlad II and his eldest son, Mercia, to be murdered. The latter by being buried alive. Ooh,
that's nice.
No, that's a nightmare. He then placed Vlad's second son, Vladislav.
Second cousin.
Oh, second cousin. I said son, didn't I? Yeah. Second cousin, Vladislav II, in power as ruler of Wallachia. Yeah.
Vlad and Radu, meanwhile, were locked away because of their father's betrayal, and they were mistreated badly.
Oh.
But worst of all was what Vlad could witness from his cell window. From there he could see the square where public torture and executions were held. He saw people whipped, beaten, crushed, stoned, and, most importantly of all for his future, impaled.
That's an extreme voyeurism.
That is a lot.
Eventually the boys integrated back into the Turkish court and were free to travel, but they had to still swear loyalty to the Ottoman Empire and Sultan Murad II. But in September 1448, Hunyadi led another crusade against the Ottoman Empire, and Vladislav helped him. Vlad, now 17, took advantage of their absence to sneak into Wallachia and seize power.
Oh. The crusade went badly for Hunyadi, and they were defeated at the Battle of Kosovo, there you go, in October 1448. Vladislav and what was left of his army returned to Wallachia. Realising he didn't have the support of the nobles in place enough to help his cause, Vlad was forced to flee back to the Ottoman Empire after ruling for only 6 months. But he wasn't done yet.
Second rule. Vlad staying... Oh no, that word again. Adrianople, in the Ottoman Empire for a while, then travelled to his maternal family under Bogdan II in Moldavia. Bogdan was murdered by Peter II, Aaron in 1451.
That was his full name, Peter II Aaron.
Oh, I thought they were different people.
No, that's
something that was Aaron.
Who is Aaron?
Peter II and Aaron. When did you pop up?
was the second Aaron.
Peter II Aaron in 1451, causing Vlad and Bogdan's son Stephen. I could say that. That was easy. To flee, and they ended up asking for help from Hunyadi, but Hunyadi wouldn't permit it. Hunyadi had recently signed a truce with the Ottoman Empire, in which they agreed to recognise him as Vladislav's heir for Wallachia on the latter's death.
Hunyadi forbade the noble families to give shelter to Vlad, and in the end he was forced to return to Moldavia, where a guy called Alexandre was now ruling. Vlad sort of slips into the mist of time for a couple of years at this point, and not a great deal is known about him.
That's a really nice way to say people forgot about him. He slipped in... Where's John? Oh, he slipped into the mist of time. Do you know what I mean? When an actor doesn't do a film for like 10 years and everyone thinks they're dead, we should now just go, you know what, has Johnny been in anything for a while?
No,
he slipped into the mists of time.
Fuck me. Oh.
Not right now, we're doing a podcast.
Come on, Carrie.
Promises.
There was no promises.
Sorry,
I'm only here for the stakes.
He resurfaces in mid-1456, where he leads an army backed by Hungary to invade Wallachia, during which Vladislav is killed, allowing Vlad to return to power.
I've got the power!
Before that, what were we going to say? There were a bit of technical issues.
Well, you're saying it now. Tell the ladies and gentlemen.
We had a bit of a technical issue. We recorded this whole damn thing and it disappeared.
And it was comedy gold, people.
It was
comedy gold.
Beautiful. So, if this sounding is slightly different, if we laugh at jokes that we think we've said but they were in the other one, just kind of go with us. It was funny at the time.
And we've eaten steak since.
Yeah, we can't make that joke.
We are full.
Oh, no.
And also, Emily threw in our lives.
I haven't. It's fine.
Cool. Emily, you're
so
purple.
Yeah.
Back to the podcast.
You're purple.
But Vlad never forgot what happened to his brother and
like
father.
Like an elephant.
And he was always aware that his situation... I tried to read through it. I tried.
But Vlad never forgot what happened to his brother and father, and he was always aware that his situation in power was precarious, so he took action against the people he held responsible and those he thought might be plotting.
Much like an elephant. Some of his other torture methods were skinning, boiling, decapitation, blinding, strangling, hanging,
You like a nice game of hangman.
hangman, burning, roasting, hacking, nailing,
Monopoly.
burying alive, and long games of Monopoly. He also liked long walks on the beach. He would also stab and cut off the noses, ears, tongues, and those bits.
Penises and balls.
Yes, of his victims. But that's not the punishment that Vlad Tepes the Impaler was known for.
Over 500 nobles were impaled during Vlad's reign.
Can we say penis on your podcast?
Yeah. We normally say dick.
Yeah.
I've said dick already. Or maybe that was earlier. Who
I
knows?
mean,
I
That's
don't
a
know.
scientific term for it, so
What,
it's been
dick?
said now. No.
I was going to say that's not.
Phallus.
In his brief conflict with the Saxons of Hungary in 1460, he ransacked and tortured the merchants of Tara Basse, allegedly, not proven, come on, impaling or burning alive the merchants and their children. I said that weird.
Children.
He had invaded Brasov and ordered all captured men and women to be impaled.
We don't know much more about his personal life. We know he had 2, maybe even 3 wives and a number of children, some legitimate, some not so much, that he cared for deeply. So
Yeah.
he'd impale other people's children, but
He
he
was
loved his own.
such
Yeah.
a caring man,
He's
wasn't
a
he?
good
He was a
dad.
great dad.
Yeah. Misunderstood, if anything.
Oh.
Conflict with the Ottomans. Go for it, Purple.
Ottomans.
Vlad was still expected to pay homage to the Sultan, now Mohammed?
Oh,
Ali!
Prince Ali.
One of the best boxers.
Mehmed.
Oh, God.
Say Mehmed.
Mehmed II, with whom Radu was still staying. But shut up. I'm doing better than Mehmed.
Staying with a mate.
But one year he decided not to. Though some say this was for 3 years. Mehmed sent an envoy. Thomas, who...
I'd like to point out, so far, since we started re-recording, Emily's only had to say 2 chunks. And so far, other people have said 4.
Wallachia and ordered Vlad to come to Constantinople to explain himself.
But he also sent Hamza and Nicopolis to capture Vlad whilst he crossed the Danube River.
Something fell off the thing.
Vlad found out and had them both captured and
Oh,
executed. He then went on a rampage.
Rampage.
Not a very good film, actually, Rampage.
I didn't mind
it.
it.
Was over
That's
Jeffrey
your
didn't
podcast,
mind it.
boys. That's your
Yeah.
podcast.
boasting at one point that he had ordered the deaths of more than 23,000 Turks and Bulgarians.
Mehmed II retaliated by raising... Well, thank you. Right, Emily's just taken...
You're
the
getting
script.
carried away
Go on.
now. We still need to do this all.
Right, Mehmed II retaliated by raising an army of over 150,000 men to take Wallachia and placed Radu on the throne. You got that bit right. Come on. Vlad retreated to Targovista.
Yeah.
Targovista.
Oh,
You-
last time you made a really good joke.
I
about
made a
Alta
good
Vista.
joke.
It was really
It
good.
was Microsoft's program.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
good
ruined
so
now.
But that was a good joke the first
It
time.
was the first time. I'm glad you remembered
Really
it.
good.
Using
We're
a
giving everyone FOMO now for the first one.
I know.
using a scorched earth policy.
Policy?
To try and reduce. You should have read the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Reduce supplies for Mehmed's troops. On the 16th to the 17th of June, Vlad and a few of his closest warriors, some he didn't like, so he left them alone, broke into the Sultan's camp under cover of darkness to either capture or kill Mehmed.
Trouble was, they got the wrong camp, and they only found the viziers. That's why they retreated. So they retreated. At the end of June, Mehmed entered Targovista to find the town deserted by the living. Instead,
Tobias has kind of returned to his primal just instinct responses, and he's realising they might not all be okay.
So yeah, they got there. There was nobody alive in there. Instead, they were met by a forest of the impaled, which was 17 stades long and 7 stades wide, so about 20,000 men, women, and children. There were infants too, affixed to their mothers on stakes, and birds had made nests in their entrails.
Lovely.
Real nice.
This slightly repulsed most of the Sultan's army, but not the Sultan himself.
Feel them loved it.
It gave him pause. How brave a man to do this, and if he was capable of doing the same to his own people, what would he do to his enemies? with his men stunned as well as suffering from heat exhaustion.
Suffering, definitely not stuffed.
Like you said last time.
I was trying to not just get through it.
Try not to
Suffering
get
from
through it.
heat exhaustion and dehydration, Mehmed II ordered a retreat to Bralia. Vlad, meanwhile, fled to Chilia.
Oh, it's straight to blue.
Yeah, not a fan. Like my bit's been cut.
In all fairness, you were rubbish, mate. Come on.
That's true. It was questionable.
You've now covered some of that.
I don't know why that keeps coming up.
Vlad withdrew to the safety of the Carpathian. Yeah, all right. Mountains and waited for help that would never come. Radu then made good with the nobles of Brazov that his brother Vlad had punished by paying a compensation of 15,000 ducats and reinstated their trading privileges. In the end, Vlad was captured in Wallachia by a Czech mercenary and became a Hungarian prisoner.
Now, Liam, do you remember what 1 ducat is in nowadays money?
Yes, Emily, I do. It was the equivalent of about £105 sterling English dollars.
Yes.
That's a lot of money now.
That's a lot of moolah.
Yes, it is, Emily.
So,
The
Pope queried why Vlad, as a Christian, was being held by a Christian country. So, they needed to kind of prove why he was there, so they fabricated 3 letters from Vlad offering support to the Sultan against Hungary, which led to Vlad being imprisoned for 14 years.
Stephen III of Moldavia asked that Vlad be released to help him in a campaign.
Corvinus, Matthias Corvinus
agreed to let Vlad go, but only if he agreed to convert from Christianity to Catholicism, which he did.
Nice.
Now we're going to talk about the third rule, guys.
Third rule.
If anything, it's the most important rule. Okay?
That's the final one.
3 is the magic number.
After his release, Corvinus officially recognised Vlad as Prince of Wallachia, but didn't give him military aid to claim his throne. He therefore had no choice but to move to Transylvania, where he lived for a while.
Just a little bit.
Mehmed was then ousted from Moldavia, where he had invaded in 1476 by the forces of Stephen Bathory,
Another Steve.
a Hungarian military commander and fellow member of the Order of the Dragon. And for those of you to whom the name rings a bell, he's an ancestor of the Blood Countess Elizabeth Bathory.
It rings a bell from last time we did this.
Order of the Dragon sounds like a film with like Bruce Lee in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Well done.
The combined forces of Bathory and Vlad captured Targovishta in November 1476 and then marched on Bucharest, restoring Vlad III to power for a third and final time.
It's the final countdown.
Now Okay, so now we are going to talk about Vlad the Impaler himself. Now, the timeline of the following is a bit fuzzy, but here are a few of the stories attributed to Vlad Tepes and his particular appetites.
Hey, you could have a lot with the tapas.
The nobles or boyars were none too happy with having Vlad Tepes in charge, and they were vocal in their unrest. So Vlad invited them for dinner at the castle, which was nice, and verbally laid into them for their disloyalty, their unrest, and their greed.
Moody host.
But he hadn't quite made his point.
Oh.
He felt, so he made...
You're right there, Emily.
It's emotional, I understand.
Impaler got
He
your
hadn't
tongue.
quite made his point, he felt. So he made a point of a different kind by having his guards herd the men out into the courtyard, and one by one he had them impaled and displayed in a ring outside of his castle.
So I think we can all agree is that Vlad the Impaler would be a terrible host on Come Dine With Me.
Yeah.
It would be great.
Or one of the best episodes of.
Yeah.
Food is great, not so much for entertainment.
Yeah.
Fact. So, and you do get points for that. There's like a whole bit that feels pointless in the episode. But it's like, now here's my friend Steve playing the guitar. You're going to hate it. Don't score me down for it. Sultan Mehmed II once referred to Vlad Tepes' way of impaling as having been refined to an art form. Normally, a sharp wooden stake was inserted through the body, and death from injury and trauma was relatively quick, but not with Vlad. There's more for me still.
In the voice of Lloyd Grossman.
The victim was held down and their legs tied to horses in order to keep them separate from what came next.
Jeremy Clarkson again.
Yeah.
Wow, yes, that's true. A long
Some say.
wooden spike was then inserted through the anus in men, vagina in women, and driven up through the body until it came out through the mouth or throat. The spike was relatively sharp, but not too sharp, so that the death was slow and agonising when the major organs weren't punctured. Next is the sting. On we go.
Oh my god. Well, he's going to be quieting.
Yeah, and we'll skip the sting again this time.
At one point, one of his guards retched and complained at the smell when Vlad Tepes confronted him about it.
Tepesh!
I don't care.
Tepesh!
Tepesh mode.
Isn't that bad? There's Tepesh
Huh?
Let's call him Vlad the Impaler.
Depeche mode.
I'm just calling him Vlad. He said
Oh, God.
that this is one of my favourite bits. Don't take it away from me. I'm going to say it.
Millie, considering that you've not
What
said it
is
in your own
moving
chapter.
across the screen?
I don't know.
When Vlad Tepes confronted him about it, he said that he had not the stomach of my brave lord for such things, hoping flattery would save him. It did not. Vlad Tepes had him impaled, but in an act of sick kindness, he had him raised above the other victims so he cannot smell his companion.
I mean, that's nice.
It's
He's caring.
thoughtful.
He's caring in death.
He didn't discriminate between men, women, and children,
Very
though.
modern.
His opinion of women was, typically for the time, that they were lesser than men.
Oh,
Less modern.
wrong, wrong. Should have read ahead. It's like we've done this before. I wanted to keep the joke in though.
I like it.
He would have the women tied down whilst the womb was forcibly removed.
Oh.
They would then be flayed and impaled, with
Okay.
their skin displayed on a separate spike next to them.
Which, as a chef, to flay someone's skin and then display it next to them, great knife skills. 10 out of 10.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're impressed.
Liam.
I like
Death!
Death!
In December in 1476.
Well, if you weren't awake before, ladies
Why
and
did
gentlemen, you
announce
are now.
me? Well, you're just pointing out, look, Liam, you like death. Oh, death, yay! I was
With a
looking-
guess on-
I ate all of my dinner. Can we do the death bit now, please?
We can. In December in 1476, the Ottoman Empire invaded Valencia.
Valencia!
Vlad resisted, obviously.
But it was one battle too many, and he fell to the Ottoman force.
Some say that his corpse was cut to pieces.
And his head sent to Sultan Mehmed II. Look, Liam, it's your bit.
Yeah. Nobody is quite sure where Vlad was buried. The popular theory is that he was buried at the island monastery Snagov. That sounds like an insult. Oh, you snag off! However, excavations of what is believed to be his tomb, though the stone is unmarked, showed that the tomb was in fact empty. Another possible burial. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily. Are we boring you on your own podcast?
No.
Another possible burial place was the Kamana Monastery, which Vlad had ordered built in his lifetime, but this is not confirmed. Sorry, I'm remembering that last time when we said Kamana, we burst into chameleon.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe he didn't need to be buried at all. Maybe he never actually died, or didn't stay dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
In fiction. Oh, Emily, you've taken it too far again. So, that is the real Vlad Tepes.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You are right, you have cut a lot out of this.
Yeah. Fascinatingly dark figure, and proof that sometimes the man is much, much worse than the monster. But let's have a look at the monster now. Vampires have been part of folklore for centuries, and we'll get onto that in a moment with some examples from around the world. But the most famous vampire was
Edward Cullen!
the one...
Sorry, Tobias.
But the most famous vampire besides Edward Cullen was one who was inspired by Vlad Dracula, but written by someone who had never actually set foot in Romania.
Oh, wow.
That's strange.
Genuine.
In 1816, a fateful night on a holiday between a group of notable people containing Mary and Percy Shelley,
Lovely
Lord
couple.
Byron, and Dr. John William Polidori, spawned what has been argued as the first vampire novel.
Twilight.
I will hit you.
That's cool.
The Vampire with a
Spelt wrong.
Y, with a Y, by Dr. Polidori,
Spelt
published
right, actually.
fully in 1819.
It's an old
The
book.
novel came to the attention of an Irish author, Bram Stoker, He then holed himself away in the British Library and began to research for arguably the greatest vampire novel of all time.
The Sookie Stackhouse books.
Also Dracula.
I mean,
Yeah, that
Sookie
makes sense.
Stackhouse, though. They're good books.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Containing all of Vlad Tepash's lust for blood and placing him in a sexually repressed Victorian setting with a mad acolyte, a doomed I was going to say Victorian again. A doomed beautiful maiden, and an obsession with a woman he cannot have. Dracula has been adapted so many times into films, plays, TV series, anime, and radio plays. Let's chat about the ManNic Podcast.
Yeah. That's not what I said last time.
Yes, it did.
No.
No, I had a
it
bit
went
about
into
Castlevania.
Castlevania.
Yeah, but I thought I'd cut that because, like,
Because I slated it.
there
last
was
time.
hate on Castlevania.
Yeah.
I like
It's
the
more of
anime.
you pointed this out because it's about Dracula, but he's the weakest boss in it.
Hey guys, we do a podcast.
Yeah, we do.
By the way, we don't argue.
No, that's not true.
No,
We definitely disagree in a heated manner.
Oh, we.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
we
just-
Some would say
Well,
argue.
we're meant to be linking to our podcast.
Yeah, so the
Okay,
Manic
That was
So-
a bad time to do that.
The Manic Podcast is your geeky ghost of geekdom.
Well, we really don't get on all the
Geeky
time.
ghost of
Hey!
geek.
Now!
Hey,
I am
now.
all full of steak, which is not how vampires like to spend their time. Oi! You know, but yeah, it's a good place to get all your geeky stuff. We talk about films
Yeah.
and stuff.
But also, in this setting, is the popular culture versions of vampires and Draculas are going to be spoken on their podcast.
Our love
On
a
their
podcast.
podcast.
A podcast.
A podcast that we're going to be on because we are collaborators.
This is
We
a
should be on it
crossover
next
episode.
week.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's over.
so here we're doing the history of Dracula. On theirs, we're doing vampires in popular culture.
Oh, well, you know, couldn't have said that better if we'd said it before.
So,
Oh,
Oh my god!
I've got tummy ache.
That's very mean, Emily.
But accurate.
So, that's
So-
the man.
that's the man, the legend. Shall we have a look at some of the myths?
Nah, I'm alright.
Let's end it there. I think
After all,
we've learned a lot.
Dracula was only in Romania and England. So what about the rest of the world? And what do you do if you come across some of his kin?
Burn them. I can tell you.
I'm taking a guess now. Fire is going to be a good element here.
Yeah.
So, we might as well pick off.
Pick them off one by one.
Oh my god!
What happened?
You've eaten.
I can't word.
You
Delirium.
didn't even
I
have
can't word.
wine.
Come
Can
on,
you
Emily.
excel?
We haven't even had pie yet.
We might as well pick up where we left off, in Romania, where you might be unlucky enough to encounter the strigoi. There are two types of strigoi, the living and the dead. The
My
living
favourite
kind are those who have been cursed or born with two souls in one body, and the darker soul takes over. They are said to be born with tails and have the ability to turn themselves invisible.
Yeah.
So you'll only know you've encountered one when it is already too late.
Morbid. If your village is falling victim to a living
Run
strigoi,
away.
there are a couple of
You can't,
ways.
they're invisible.
You can tell. The milk cows will all dry up.
I always look at the milk aisles.
The men of the village will become infertile, and disease will spread with the ease of wildfire.
Not wildlife. Like
No, that would be silly to say that, wouldn't it? If you notice any of these things, dial 0800 Strigoi now. If you see any of this happening in a village near you, never fear. You can protect yourself by smearing garlic on the doors and windows. It would keep away the living Strigoi and possibly most of your neighbours.
The other kind are the dead Strigoi. People who still had two souls when they died. Or who were not given the proper burial rites and rituals. They would then not be allowed to decompose and would rise each night to haunt the relatives who had left them improperly buried, spreading deadly, not just disease, deadly disease to... They don't always turn up outside the window as fresh-looking corpses, mind you. They can also take the form of animals, insects, shadows, or fire. So basically, bury your relatives right in Romania. Or you're stuffed. Not suffering.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Both. If you think a relative is a dead Strigoi, then you exhume them, behead, and stake the body. Burning is also a sure bet.
Never assume, always exhume.
But isn't there also another way you can
That's
catch
it.
a strigoi?
That's it.
No, only one.
You can get a horse,
Can you?
and you can walk that horse over the grave. And if the horse won't go over the grave, that is a strigoi.
Greece. We're in Greece.
In Greece, you would encounter the Vrikolakas, a creature that has evolved over time. Initially, they were the most harmless, or mostly harmless, revenants of those who had died excommunicated from the Orthodox Church. As for the strigoi, if they are buried improperly or in unconsecrated ground, they are not able to decompose.
They have become mixed a little in myth with that of the lichen, or werewolf.
Not licking.
But the Greek lichens have a rough deal as they become
Vrikolakas.
upon death, condemned to attack and drain the blood.
That looks
living
like someone's
until
thrown
they
a
have
Scrabble
stopped.
set at the wall and just chosen the letters.
To stop them, stake, behead, and burn.
Of course, a bird, not bum.
No, very different things.
No.
Very different things. Albania have the Striga, the first of our gender-specific vampires. You say first of, but they're all women pretty much from the rest of this, from what I remember.
More or less.
They take the form of a woman who survive by draining the blood of humans, but doing it slowly and causing a great deal of pain as they do it. They drink until the person doesn't just exsanguinate.
That's probably the noise they make when they
They full on desiccate and shrivel and die like a coconut.
The way to stop them is pretty damn gross. Only the saliva of the Shrikta can say... You right there?
There's got water in my lap.
That's juice.
Yeah, juice. It's not
Get
water.
your facts
And
straight.
That will stay.
Flavoured water.
Oh, okay.
No, it's juice.
It's juice. It's juice.
You can't call that flavoured water.
No. Anyway, important to the grossness. Only the saliva of the Shrikta can
What?
I know. I said it like that last time, but you're too busy spilling stuff over yourself. Can save the life of their victim, provided she spits into their mouth before the sun goes down. After the sun has set, you're dead. No questions asked. You've just also been spat on by a mythical creature. You saw that, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
What was
It's
it?
an autosave thing.
It's an autosave.
What, on the
I'll tell you
document?
what it isn't. Not very
You mean,
dignified.
you mean on the document that we're not changing?
The Striga is bulimic, however, and after drinking her fill, she will vomit up the majority of the blood, keeping only the bare minimum to continue surviving in suffering. If you're lucky, or not, enough to come across Striga vomit, collect some of it on a silver coin, keep it in your pocket, and it will be a charm against attack from one.
Yeah, like,
So
why would you
stupid.
come across...
Nowadays,
Why would you
if
come across a Striga? Not why would you come
nowadays,
across
if
vomit?
you were seen like in the street rubbing a coin in vomit, you would be arrested.
And
I
so-
don't know. I mean, we're very inclusive, huh?
And you're like, you know what? You vomit coin rubbing friend of ours.
You do you. Yeah, you do you.
You do you, and we'll.
As long as
stay-
you're not making me do it.
And we'll
then
stay
you,
a very far length of space away from you.
You can also trap a Striga, or trap one to kill it, by
Trap a
beheading,
Striga.
staking, and burning, by following these simple instructions. On Easter Sunday, you take the bones of the last pig you ate at a
Only the
carnival.
last one, not
Yeah,
the one before.
The last pig
Make
you
sure it's
ate.
yours.
You then use
Yeah,
them to
carnival.
create a cross on the front steps of the church that Striga is inside.
Striga.
She then cannot leave the church unless you go inside and carry her out.
Can you imagine going through all the effort to collect the pig, doing all this, and then you go in and carry her out anyway?
So why would you?
You
would be
can
a
then
romantic
destroy
gesture.
her, or just leave her there. Either or.
Yeah.
Either or.
Let's go to the Caribbean now.
Carabin!
I hope this one has pirates.
You just. Have
I
you not just cut out
know.
my
I
entire
was
piece?
trying to say Caribbean.
Caribbean! It was about you panicked and shouted at me. Caribbean!
Oh.
The warm islands and clear blue seas of the Caribbean are home to the Lugaroo,
Lugaroo.
another female vampiric creature. This time, she's a shapeshifter who looks like a woman
kangaroos.
during the day, but at night, she can shed her skin like a snake and go hunting. Without her skin, she is able to slip through gaps and cracks of any size.
I remember last time you had a big issue with this.
Because just because you lose your skin, Tobias, doesn't mean you can then fit through any gap like an octopus. Sorry. Without her skin, she's able to slip through gaps and cracks of any size to come upon her sleeping victims and drain their blood. I remember that sentence.
Yeah. She has OCD though.
Oh, that's harsh.
If you leave a pile of sand on your doorstep,
You're messy.
She has to stop and count every grain before she can come in for supper. The trick is to leave enough sand down to keep her counting until morning. And if the sun rises without her being back in her skin, the Lugaroo is doomed.
Lugaroo is
Dun,
doomed.
dun, dun, dun.
Scandinavia!
Elder Scrolls fans will be familiar with their next creature, the Drow. These are undead, without a doubt. They're like revenants with superpowers, pretty much. If you're a violent or evil person in life, or if you're cursed to it, you will become a Drow on death.
Tick, tick, tick.
You got something to look forward to in death.
Again, the body doesn't decay,
Nice.
No, it doesn't.
You'll stay
but
nice.
instead it turns a shade of blue and will become incredibly heavy, so
You
a
seem like
bloated, dead weight.
Oh, you're almost there, aren't you?
What did you say? I missed it.
You're almost there, aren't you?
that
As a
is
bloated,
so
dead weight.
So harsh, and lesser friends would take offence, but I don't care.
I said it for comedy.
And all I can think of is turning blue, Smurf.
Cool. I'm the king of Smurfs.
Second Snapchat love. Because the first one was within that first section we'd already done.
Oh, is it? So
Yeah.
it's come back to it.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Drow can cause epidemics.
Buff.
They can spread their vampirism through a bite or scratch infection. They can cast
COVID-19.
curses and cause insanity.
These sound just
One
like
of the
zombies.
traits of the Drow is haunting their victim
Similar,
until
yeah.
they go mad, then killing them and devouring their maddened brains.
All their maddened brains.
Oh, I love a maddened brain.
They have the ability to sink to the ground to escape, and in some legends, they can turn into smoke.
I missed that last time. So they have the ability just to, how sinister, just sink into. Bye. we're like a gay sass. Bye.
You can find the grave of a Drow because any bird or animal that passes over it will instantly die, and any human that walks over it will instantly go mad.
They can be defeated if you decide to fight them. Though seriously, you've rewritten this because I picked on you last time.
Yeah.
That's because last time, listeners,
You just could
it
not
made
last
no
time.
sense. Because it basically would defeat them in combat. Luck you! They can be defeated if you decide to fight them. Though seriously, good luck with that. Only the saga heroes
Captain
can
America,
manage
Iron
that.
Man.
So unless you have some epic heroic destiny,
Cool.
try another B. No.
Drow defeated by a bee.
Try option B or plan B. Find the grave, behead the Drow, and burn it all.
Just
Without going mad.
assume burn it.
Burn it all to the
You
ground.
can also stop someone raising as the Drow by burying them upside down so they can't claw their way out of the grave, or by driving nails into the feet of the corpse so they are unable to walk. Just be prepared for retaliation should a helpful friend of the Drow ever pull those nails out.
I like the choice of retaliation.
I know.
Like one day you're gonna
No!
you're gonna wake up with a horse head in your bed. Like, oh, that's the Drow. Oh,
That's the Drow for
If it's
now.
been pulled off, yes.
that's really good. That's the Drow for now.
So,
Just to clarify, I wasn't offering you a high five. I was doing the how thing from how. How to.
Oh.
if it's Scandinavian and Romanian myth, you can bet your life it'll crop up in Celtic folklore.
The Drow is another...
Derek
No.
Derek
Derek do.
Come on, there.
The Derek do.
Do-do-do.
The Derek do.
Do-do.
Oh, he's another female vampire, described as a beautiful pale woman seen wandering in graves at night. They are more specific with their victims than some of the other fanged femme fatales.
Bam.
I did that right the first time.
They lure men in with their beauty and offer a kiss.
Mwah.
When the man kisses them, it's already too late.
He's
The
got
Derek
a face.
will bite him and drain his blood through his mouth until he's dead. And I still have an issue with the idea of biting someone through their mouth, but you explain it's like they bite onto the lip and drain
Yeah.
the blood.
All the time.
But the sentence, they bite them through their mouth, is a scary, like,
But Liam,
Yeah.
you can't kill a dog, dude.
there.
You can only trap them, by building a cairn over their grave. Or, if you're male, you could just not approach the random beautiful woman wandering alone in the graveyard, you pervert.
That's good advice for life.
Don't approach,
It is.
don't approach anyone you see hanging around in graveyards.
Africa!
Heading over to the Ivory Coast of Africa, you may come across the Assam
I
bonsam.
don't want to.
No.
The Assam bonsam is an ambush predator and will wait in trees for their victims to walk below, where they will spear them with the hooks they have instead of feet and hands, and lift them into the tree canopy before draining all of their blood and then just disposing of the corpse. So, if you're walking anywhere along the Ivory Coast, avoid the trees.
They only leave the cover of the trees at night, where they can sneak into houses and take a small drink from the thumbs of sleeping
Like
people.
miniature whiskey.
That's if the hunting day has been slow.
Thumb dram.
If you don't want your thumb blood to be drained whilst you sleep, the answer is simple.
Is it actually thumb blood?
Yeah.
It is! And I've got to say the thing that was making me chuckle, because it's not valid, and this is not a true statement, but you said ambush predator, and honestly, the only thing my mind can go, Tobias is an ambush predator! But it's so inaccurate, and my mind went, you can't say that. I have to, it took me out. So just so you all know, Tobias is not an ambush predator, he's just a normal predator.
Disclaimer.
I was trying to help
Yeah,
you all.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to tell you what to do if you don't want your thumb blood to be drained while you sleep. It is easy. You just sacrifice a goat and leave the blood out for the
Assam bonsam.
to drink instead.
Oh, poor goat. No. Let's go to Mexico.
Mr. God!
This is an odd one,
Because the others aren't.
as it isn't so much a creature as the dark aspect of God possessing people.
Miss out the letter A, it's why it's different.
Yeah, the letter A is overwritten.
If a woman dies as a virgin or in childbirth, they become a vessel for Kikachotototo.
Chikatitos, everyone's wrong.
How do we say this?
Kihuaquito.
Well done. Thank you. And their reanimated bodies wait at a crossroads to lure men and tempt them into unfaithfulness and sexual acts.
Same thing.
If you're good, upstanding, and faithful, then you'll be okay.
That's right.
Just get out there sharpish. If you give in, however, they will drain your blood and kill you. Same thing. Yeah.
So you just
But you kind
Don't
of deserve
cheat.
it. Yeah.
They have also been known to hunt children, pregnant women, and mothers.
So they're not picky, basically.
No, just in case there's not enough unfaithful men out there. There are, let's be honest.
Oh.
Hey!
Oh.
Hey!
Chikatitos, tell
As
me what's wrong.
They have to eat. Alright, let's go to China. Anything you want to add, Carrie?
If you want a creepy monster, go to China or Japan.
I don't know.
Here you will
I've
meet.
seen The Grudge.
Here you meet the
No, thank
Jiangshi. Like the Strigoi, not Shang-Chi, Jiangshi.
Do
They're
they?
very similar.
They've got 10 rings.
Be careful.
Legendary.
Like, you really elbowed me in the face.
Possession.
Like the Strigoi, it's a two souls in one body deal where the darker of the two souls wins out and takes possession.
Living just.
That's really good.
Oh.
Two souls
Patronising, I'll say, well
living
done,
in
you did
just
a funny.
one vessel.
The transformation is physical as they have long,
Smart.
sharp
No,
claws.
it was in my lap. I'm sorry. It was in my lap and then it just splashed up on my
I'm
hand.
trying!
We're not talking about
Take
Liam
my
here.
mind.
I am trying to read.
The transformation is physical as they have long, sharp claws,
Nasty.
red eyes,
Oh.
and pale hair the colour of grave mould.
Liam,
They
want to
also
Google anything
have
right now?
they also have inhuman speed and strength, the ability of flight, and toxic breath. Like the Lugaroo, they are impulsive counters, and you can trap a
Jiangshi.
in a circle of rice. Counting the rice will buy you enough time to behead, stake, or burn them,
Bum, bum.
or all three if you're feeling extra.
Extra. Not basic.
Nah.
Native Americans. Liam.
In the seminal culture of Native America,
Nice.
there is the stikini.
Like the mankini.
Another shape-shifting
Why'd you go to
vampire.
mankini instead of bikini? Sticking bikini.
Because mankini feels more entertaining.
Yeah, I was going for the funny option.
Definitely less support, though.
I've never worn one.
Neither have I.
Have you
Luckily.
worn a stakini?
Oh. Well, the thing is, they are human until night falls. Where they will go to a safe place and vomit up all their internal organs and then turn into an owl.
Natural. Do it every night.
They will then hunt for their victims and suck out their hearts through their mouth
Not
to
their ear.
kill them. Before the sun rises, they must return to their organs, turn back into human form and swallow their organs to pass for human again.
If you can't get to the organs first, though, you can use special arrows coated in certain herbs and fletched.
I thought you were making that up.
No! No, I
You
said...
were so confident.
Yeah, at that
I know
point,
how to
right, when
deal
I said
with
certain
these.
herbs last time, I mentioned KFC. But I didn't want to mention KFC because I realised that I said fetched last time, not fletched. But I was on it.
I've now mentioned KFC.
But I think they're looking good. With owl feathers to defeat them. Probably burn the organs for good luck. Always burn them. I told you at the start of this.
Burn it all.
Mother Russia!
Our Russian cousins... What? Our Russian cousins have the Verdulac
Verdulac.
that have a specific diet.
Eggs.
They are...
Can you imagine if that was the truth? They're vampires, but they just love eggs. They love them.
Do they?
They are actually undead vampires who only drink the blood of their loved ones
Oh,
and
that's
thereby
not eggs.
convert their entire
no.
family to vampirism.
I remember saying last time that I thought it was a very nice thing to do.
I think it looked like a cult.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Mesopotamia
I
now,
don't want
shall
to.
we?
Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia has the Lilitu, a beautiful and highly sexualized female vampire
Vampire.
who would obsessively possess a lover once
Ah.
taken and never let them go, feeding on nom nom nom, feeding on them regularly, but never enough to kill them.
They could also take the form of the wind or winged and bird-footed demons who drank the
They're
blood
just
of
birds.
new birds and new mothers.
Winged and bird-footed. That's a bird. That's a bird.
Ah, but Liam,
Yeah?
there is also the Lamashtu. Shut up.
Sorry.
With the head of a lion and the body of a lion.
This is it, right?
It's a lion!
A demonic vampire with the head of a lion. Great start. And then the body of a donkey.
Well, what happened is they were like, right, you're really scary, head of a lion, hardcore.
Honestly, it's probably one of the best wazzles. And there's going to be some listeners who know what wazzles are. Just saying.
I have no
Do
idea.
you know what wazzle is?
No, I'm a young wee lad.
Wait, you're not Scottish, though.
I'm also not big. I'm a big dude.
Anyway, this lion-donkey mashup that preys on newborns and new mothers. They have an insatiable thirst for blood and are never satisfied.
So, South America. Not quite a vampire, but certainly vampiric is the Acima, a blood-sucking hag native to the Republic of Suriname on the border of Brazil. They go by other names in the local areas, but the main descriptor is a sucuyum.
They appear as a reclusive old woman during the day, but then at night she takes off her wrinkled skin and puts it safely in a pestle and mortar. She then flies across the sky in the form of a fireball.
Don't we all?
So crazy.
I just saw you, but I remember the pestle and mortar bit.
Move it up so Liam can speak.
Like,
But no, let's just look at that. So at night, she takes her wrinkled skin
and
puts it in a safely for
safely.
in a
Not just
pestle and
discard
mortar.
it, just throw it.
And not only does she then defy gravity, she does it in the form of a fireball.
Yeah.
Sorry. They suck blood from people's arms, legs, and soft bits. What are the
Penis.
soft bit? Penis. And leave blue, black bruises on the body for the morning. They try not to drain until death. If they do, then the victim will become a sequoiant or just plain die. In that case, the creature can assume the victim's identity, and identity theft is no laughing matter.
No.
They then trade the blood they have collected for black magic powers with a demon called, wait for it, Basil.
The most sinister demon of them
Basil.
all.
Boom, boom.
You hear all about Lucifer, but you never hear about Basil.
Basil.
The
He's
great
too bad.
demon detective.
Right, I'm just saying, Emily, if you don't nudge that up, I'm just going to stop mid-sentence. Rice is good.
Thank you and good night. Enjoy your Falcons.
Rice is good tool against these guys. If you put them around your house at night... No, there's not.
It doesn't say at night.
You're going to start again, Mama.
Rice is a good tool against these guys. If you put them around your house, any time,
Yeah, day, night.
or at the village crossroads, the creature has to gather every single grain before dawn. Also has OCD.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, find the mortar where she hides her skin, sprinkle it with the coarse salt so she cannot put it... No, hang on. Put it back.
What happened?
Oh.
Just moved it.
You actually grabbed her.
I will pay. I'm really concerned about the amount of recording we've got left to do.
No, it's good.
One page.
Yeah, and then ours.
We've got a podcast.
I'll
Yeah.
have a settle.
Yeah. So let's go to Southeast Asia, dude.
Within the Malay culture, you can find the Penanggalan,
Bless you.
a nocturnal vampiric ghost that takes the form of a woman's disembodied floating head
Totally
with
normal.
her internal organs still attached and trailing below.
Like a jellyfish.
From a distance...
Actually, it does look a lot like a jellyfish.
It does, to be
Like
fair.
a man
You've
of
seen
war.
one.
Yeah, it does look just like a man of war.
From a distance, it looks like a will-o'-the-wisp
Oh,
or a
my
man of war, and when it's close enough to see, it's too late.
Da, da, da.
The
Penanggalan.
Penanggalan
Bless you
is
both.
said to have once been a woman who meditated during a ritual bath with vinegar,
Already
with
went wrong.
all but her head submerged. She can return her organs back into her body by shrinking them in vinegar, and so they can go back in. You can therefore detect one by the smell of vinegar, if the floating head and organs don't give it away.
Oh.
That little spoiler.
You can stop one by scattering the leaves of thorny plants around the outside of your house, or looping them in vines around your windows and doors, so you will catch her exposed organs on them. Or, if you're due to give birth, you could also go through the very easy process of finding some shattered glass and gluing them to the exterior walls of your property. Or maybe just get some scissors or cutters nearby.
There were other words
will
there.
scare
There
the
were definitely
creature.
other words
It's fine.
there. You can permanently destroy the creature by finding the rest of the body and pouring broken glass into the neck cavity to sever the internal organs when she tries to reattach. You then sanctify and burn before sunrise. Trust me, people, it's all about the burning.
It's all
I think
about
my
the
intestines are
burning.
itching now at the thought of that.
Nice.
Itchy intestines. There are many, many more types of vampires out there around the world,
But we
far
don't care
more
about them.
than we can mention here.
Yeah.
So we would encourage you to have a look for yourselves. The folklore is rich and varied. Not all vampires suck blood either. There are those that steal your life force or mana and can leave one feeling drained emotionally and mentally.
So, that is the history of Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, vampires, and all that jazz.
Vlachia!
And Wallachia.
Bless you.
So, this week's ridiculous death.
Oh.
Oh, we're going straight into it. Jeez, okay.
I like it when you do that.
Oh, no.
Ridiculous death, Tobias, in case you don't know.
I've heard it before, but carry on.
For the sake of
Yes. What is
Podcast.
ridiculous death?
You're an
It
actor,
is-
damn it.
It
act.
is a segment we do at the end of all of our podcasts that we find somebody who died, took themselves out of the gene pool, one might say.
In a stupid way.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Cool. Bring it on.
Okay,
Again.
so this week we have Pietro Aretino, who was an Italian author, playwright, poet, satirist, and blackmailer.
Oh,
So
yeah.
All the common
Boom.
things
Yeah.
from the CV.
he was born in 1492 in Arezzo in the Republic of Florence, and he died on this day that we're recording this, the 21st of October 1556 in Venice. And basically what happened was he was at a very nice meal, someone told him a bit of a bawdy joke,
Oh.
he laughed a lot, and depending on which version you listen to, either he laughed so much his heart burst and died,
But Liam doesn't believe that happened.
He
Or-
was bullshit.
he laughed so hard and threw his chair back as he laughed, fell on the floor and cracked his skull open.
I think that's believable. And something that we've nearly done ourselves.
We've laughed a lot this podcast.
It's
We
been,
have, to be
been
fair.
fun. Both versions
Have
of
you,
it.
have you enjoyed being on our podcast?
I have. This is my first time. Liam's been here before.
Yeah, he was in the
This was
Haunted
new to
Hill
me.
Wars.
I've means nothing. But okay. But
Are
I've
you going to come back one day?
yeah, sure. If you're always going to cook me steak. Yeah, I liked it.
Have you
It's good.
enjoyed yourself, Liam?
Yes.
Good talk.
Cool.
Great.
Go-
Where can you find the ManNic Podcast?
On the internet. Or at Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or you can go straight to the horse, which is SoundCloud.
Just type in Manic.
Two ends. Very important.
We're so chuffed with that, we're not talking anymore. Or you could check the link tree, which these lovely ladies are definitely going to put in the description. And if they don't, we won't advertise theirs.
We
Yay.
will. We did last time.
And that's all of our socials, including a Patreon.
Yeah. £1, you can get all the exclusive stuff.
Yeah, you can. It's so fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
But we'll find out because we need to record for your podcast.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do next.
And I'll let you say goodbye for your own
Say
podcast.
bye to your fans.
We will be back on Halloween with a special Halloween episode.
Spooky.
What?
I'm leaning in.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited. I
For a
probably will.
spooky special Halloween episode. And we'll be on their podcast next week. We will be putting that on our socials as well.
Thank you.
That's very nice of you.
You're
A
welcome.
lot of people wouldn't
So
know it.
ours will be out today on Sunday, and theirs will be next week at some point.
Sometime.
Sometime.
after this episode.
But before Halloween.
But if you've enjoyed learning about the history of Dracula, pop over there and find out how vampires have been portrayed in popular culture.
Yeah.
And we shall see you at some point.
Vladia.